Have you ever thought about whether our oldest, most sacred rituals are secretly connected to the basic laws of the universe? Well, today we're going to explore this really profound link, a connection between one single act of worship and this incredible cosmic dance that controls everything, and I mean everything, from the tiniest atoms to the biggest galaxies. So let's dive right in.
Okay, so our whole investigation kicks off with this really fascinating, kind of puzzling idea from the Quran. It says that everything, stars, planets, even mountains, prostrates to God. But hang on a second, what does that even mean? A star can't exactly bow down, right? So what is this universal form of worship that everything is doing? That's the big mystery we're going to try and crack today.
All right, so the first clue in this whole cosmic detective story takes us back about 400 years. We're talking about an Italian scientist, Galileo, who did something incredibly bold. He took a brand new invention, pointed it up at the night sky, and, well, he basically changed our place in the universe forever.
See, for thousands of years, everybody was pretty sure about how the universe worked. It was the geocentric model. The Earth was the center of everything, and all the heavens revolved around us. And you know what? It kind of makes sense. It feels right. But Galileo's observations, they suggested something way more radical, the heliocentric model. The idea that the sun was at the center, and we, on Earth, were just another planet orbiting it. So, when Galileo came out with this, how do you think people reacted? Well, they were not happy. I mean, the idea that we weren't the center of everything was crazy. It was heretical. He actually spent the rest of his life under house arrest for it. And get this, it took the church 350 years to officially say, you know what? The guy was right. This was a huge shift, and it's the very first step to understanding the much, much bigger pattern we're looking for.
So Galileo opened our eyes to a huge truth. We are moving. We are in constant motion. But here's the crazy part. This orbital dance doesn't just stop with our little solar system. Not even close. So now let's zoom out, and I mean way out, to see just how deep this universal pattern really goes. Okay, so this is the part we all remember from science class, right? The Earth orbits the sun. And we're not alone. We're in this constant gravitational dance with Mars, Jupiter, all the other planets. But you got to understand, this is just the very first layer of the onion. Because our sun, as huge and powerful as it isn't just sitting still in space either. Not at all. It's just one star out of hundreds of billions in our galaxy, the Milky Way. And guess what? Every single one of those stars is also in orbit, swirling around some huge common center. So the question is, what are they all orbiting?
Well, at the heart of our galaxy, there's a supermassive black hole. And when I say supermassive, I mean it has the mass of 4 million of our suns put together. It's this gravitational titan that's holding our entire galaxy, billions of stars, including ours, in its grip, pulling us all in this giant cosmic spiral.
And believe it or not, the pattern just keeps going up and up. Planets orbit stars. Stars orbit the center of the galaxy. But then, whole galaxies orbit each other within clusters, and those clusters are moving inside even bigger superclusters. It's mind-blowing. No matter where we look, from small to galactic, we find the exact same thing. Everything is orbiting something else.
Okay, so we've been looking at the biggest things in the universe, right? Galaxies, superclusters. But what if I told you this exact same pattern, this orbital dance, isn't just for the big stuff? It also applies to the absolute smallest building blocks of everything that exists.
So, we've clearly seen how this pattern of orbiting defines the macrocosm, the giant cosmic scale of things. And you probably think, okay, that's where the pattern stops.
But it absolutely doesn't. That very same rule also defines the microcosm. So let's do the opposite of what we did before. Let's zoom all the way in, past the mountains, past a single grain of sand, all the way down to the level of one single atom.
So every single atom, the stuff that makes up you, me, the screen, everything, it has the same fundamental setup. You've got a nucleus in the center with protons and neutrons. And what's happening around that nucleus? You've got electrons whizzing around it constantly. They are in a perpetual state of, you guessed it, orbit.
And here it is. This is just incredible. The way electrons orbit a nucleus is almost exactly the way planets orbit the sun. It's the same blueprint, a central point of mass with smaller things circling it. The same pattern, just on a scale so tiny we can't even imagine it. This proves it. This orbital motion is completely and totally universal.
Okay, so let's recap. We found our universal pattern. From the tiniest electron to the biggest supercluster of galaxies, we've discovered that everything is in orbit. So now, let's take this incredible scientific fact and finally connect it back to that spiritual mystery we started with.
Because it turns out, this pattern isn't limited to just the physical world we can measure. In Islamic tradition, there's talk of a celestial house called the Baytul Mamur that exists in the heavens directly above the Kaaba in Mecca. And guess what the angels are said to be doing there? Yep, they are constantly orbiting it, circling it as their form of worship. So the pattern continues, even into the realm of the unseen.
And this right here is the absolute key to unlocking our mystery. We have to expand our definition of sajda, or prostration. It's not just about the physical act of putting your head on the ground. In this huge cosmic context, sajda means to submit, to align yourself with, the divine system that's already in place. It means to join the universal orbit.
And this brings us right to the heart of it all, the Hajj pilgrimage. Millions of people from every corner of the earth gather in Mecca. And what is one of the most powerful, most central rituals they perform? They circle the Kaaba together. They create this massive, swirling human orbit. It's called the Tawaf.
And here is the big revelation. The Quran was never saying that stars and mountains should worship physically like humans do. It's the complete opposite. We don't make them worship like us. We go to Mecca to worship like them. For that brief time, we stop doing things our way, and we join in and worship the way the entire universe has been worshiping since the beginning of time.
Just think about that. In that single act of circling, a person becomes united with absolutely everything. Their movement is the same as the electron orbiting a nucleus, the same as the planets orbiting the sun, the same as the stars orbiting the center of the galaxy. It's even the same as the angels orbiting the celestial house. It's one human act that brings a person into perfect harmony with the entire cosmic and spiritual universe.
But here's one final thought to leave you with. Every single orbit we've talked about, from the tiniest electron to a massive galaxy, runs on a timer. It has a beginning and an end. And when that time is up, something new happens. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What is the ultimate purpose of this giant cosmic clock? And what happens to us when our time in this great orbit is finally over?